For as long as humanity has existed, there's been a curiosity about the afterlife. What happens after we die? There are a lot of different beliefs and theories, but no one really knows for sure. Setting aside beliefs and theories, there's no denying that when you enter a place that's seen the end of many lives, especially in disturbing ways, you get an uneasy feeling. Whether that's your mind playing tricks on you or something lurking in the shadows is up to you to decide. Welcome to Watch Life. Today we're going to be taking a look at 5 asylums and hospitals in the United States that you need to know about if you're looking for a paranormal experience. First on our list is the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston, West Virginia. This asylum was a Kirkbride-planned psychiatric hospital and operated from 1864 to 1994. This was a massive mental health hospital having 666 acres worth of property and 13 buildings. During the many years that this asylum was open, it performed a number of medical practices including ice water baths, bloodletting, electroshock therapy, and more. Unfortunately, as time went on, this asylum that once was supposed to hold only 250 patients became a home to 2,400 to 2,600 patients by the 1950s. Due to the lack of space, furniture, and heat, patients were sleeping on cold grounds and freezing rooms. The overcrowding was so bad that patients weren't being treated well and sanitation decreased due to overworked staff. There were many reports of suicides and murders, among other things, as the situation spun out of control. By the 1980s, fortunately, the mental illness practices changed, which helped decrease the number of patients. Ones that couldn't be helped were left there and often locked up in cages. By 1994, this asylum was shut down, but was later bought and auctioned in 2007 by Joe Jordan and is now open for tours. It is said that till today you can feel the presence of the patients and the emotions that they went through. Next on our list is the Athens Lunatic Asylum. Athens Mental Hospital, now known as The Ridges, is located in Athens, Ohio. This asylum was a Kirkbride-planned mental hospital and its operation was from 1874 to 1993. The hospital helped many patients including Civil War veterans, children, and violent mentally ill people. This asylum was designed to hold 500 patients on 141 acres, but by the 1950s, they expanded their facilities with 78 buildings on over 1,000 acres of land, able to treat over 1,800 patients. Throughout the years, the hospital's livestock, gardens, farmland, and much more were mostly taken care of by patients of the facility. They saw this as a therapy for the patients and an economic advantage. The hospital was one of the town's largest employers as well. But this hospital wasn't all positive. They performed disturbing practices including hydrotherapy, electroshock, psychotropic drugs, and lobotomies. By 1993, the asylum was shut down. Some of the original buildings were later renovated by the Ohio University, and the remains of over 1,900 original patients are in 3 cemeteries with their headstones marked with not a name, but only a number. It comes to no surprise that the grounds are still haunted by the tortured patients. People say they hear screams and see shadow figures in the hallways. One famous ghost in the building is Margaret Schilling. She went missing December 1st, 1978, but was found 42 days later having died of heart failure, most likely due to hypothermia. The spot on the floor where they found the body still has stains from bodily fluids, even though there's been multiple attempts to try and clean it up. Next on our list is Taunton State Hospital. Taunton State Hospital is a psychiatric hospital located in Taunton, Massachusetts. Established in 1854, it was originally named the State Lunatic Hospital at Taunton. This was the second asylum built in Massachusetts and had 154 acres of land. As time went on, the hospital expanded into 40 buildings and was overloaded with criminally insane patients, from murderers and arsonists, among others. One patient housed there was Jane Taunton, also known as Jolly Jane, an American serial killer who confessed to 31 murders in 1901. The employees at Taunton went far and beyond any other facilities when conducting inhumane medical treatments. Reports of abuse, neglect, and even satanic sacrifices in the basement were said to be carried out by the staff members themselves. The graves for the patients that were allegedly sacrificed were only marked with a small metal spike with the patient's number on it. By 1975, the main part of the asylum was shut down. While the building fell silent, Those who dared sneak into the property and go into the basement saw strange symbols on the walls, and a sense of paranoia would come over them, also seeing shadow figures moving across walls. The building fell quickly into disrepair once closed, and in 1999, the main dome over the administration section collapsed, followed by a fire breaking out in 2006. After that, the rest of the main building was demolished in 2009, though many of the newer buildings still remain. Next on our list is Pennhurst Asylum. Pennhurst Asylum is located in Spring City, Pennsylvania. The years of operation were from 1908 to 1987. This was a school/hospital for the physically handicapped and mentally insane. With only a few years of operation, the facility was overcrowded by orphans, immigrants, and even criminals. At this asylum, children were neglected and abused for years, becoming one of the most horrific asylums in the country. Some cases were reported of staff that would tie patients to their beds, leaving them for hours, and, for some, the whole day. If a patient was found to have bitten someone, the staff would pull out all their teeth to prevent them from biting again. This practice was so common that even years after the asylum was closed, you could still find teeth lying around. By 1968, Bill Baldini made a 5-short TV series on Pennhurst and the condition the patients were in, inspiring many to take legal action against the facility. With some of the footage of children curled up in a ball, rocking back and forth, and even twitching, it is to no one's surprise that this building became one of the country's most haunted asylums. Last on our list is the Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Waverly Hills Sanatorium is located in Louisville, Kentucky. This hospital opened its doors in 1910. This building was meant to accommodate up to 40 to 50 tuberculosis patients, later expanding in 1926 due to the widespread of tuberculosis at the time. People didn't know that this was an airborne disease yet. What they did know was that it was extremely easy to catch, so people who had it needed to be isolated from the general public. To try and battle tuberculosis, some barbaric procedures to find a treatment were made. One that was painful, ineffective, and very fatal was that doctors would insert a balloon into the patient's lungs and fill it with air to help the patient breathe. But in order to expand the lungs more, the doctor would have to remove ribs and muscle tissue. Death was such a common thing in this hospital that they used a tunnel known as the Death Tunnel and was 500 feet long from the top of the hill to the bottom. Patients that passed away at Waverly were left at the end of the tunnel. The workers would have to gather the bodies of the dead and either burn, bury, or transport them somewhere else. Only fewer than 5% of patients survived before they found the cure in 1943, an antibiotic to help fight tuberculosis. Once they found that cure, the number of tuberculosis cases declined, and eventually in 1961, Waverly Hills Sanatorium closed its doors. It is said that roughly 60,000 patients died in there. Some people argue that this is the most haunted hospital in the United States. And that was our list of 5 asylums and hospitals in the United States that you need to know about if you're looking for a paranormal experience. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe, like, and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out on any future uploads. I want to leave you with a question. If you had the opportunity to visit any of these places, would you do it or wouldn't you? Let me know in the comments down below. And as usual, this has been Watch Life, and I'll see you guys in the next video.